We can see a 200% increase in betting volume. The bets that were placed in France was doubled.
Wow.
We see more and more players are getting into sports betting.
When we look at these numbers, we realize that the World Cup doesn't just attract the players, it changes how players bet.
It's a staggering number. 33% of the operator profits came from unexpected results. But then again, we said there are also surprises. So, Rosier, to learn more about World Cup 2026, we need to look at the reference, and the reference is World Cup 2022, but also what was between the two events, which is the Euro 24, which was massive, but still European tournament, while the World Cup is a global world sports event. The learning from World Cup 2022 can give us some hint in terms of what to expect in 26. So the number were unprecedented. We can see a 200% increase in betting volume.
Wow.
If you look at France, the France local brand, ANG, I think.
ANJ.
So they reported that the bets that were placed in France was doubled.
Wow.
Between 18 and 22. We see more and more players are getting into sports betting. So, for example, we saw that in 2022, the 33% of 18 to 24 years old place a bet on the World Cup, which that shows that the Gen Zs are interested in sport, interested in football, and also interested in betting. These guys, of course, now they are 4 years older. They're already deep in their career. But of course, Gen Z is someone to look at. We will talk about it later, how you accommodate the sports book to be also interesting for this group age. So really increase in every parameter, including the deposit spike during the knockout. That was a 50% increase in deposits. And also interesting from the UKGC, they saw that active players on sportsbook, they increased their bets to 40 bets per player during the World Cup. That's like in average. And something that is not out of the ordinary when it comes to the World Cup, but it's in football in general, at least in the recent 10 years or so, that the majority of the bets are taken in play. In 2022, the estimation it was that 75% of the total stakes were in play, and then of course makes total sense, because this is what the players are love to do in recent years. They get some edge over the fact that they know exactly who is playing, if there is weather change or what's not, so they can get a better educated decision. Plus, it's a tournament, right? So it also makes sense to change your bet also according to the last games of this team, so that you can get a better chances to win your bet.
Yeah, and in addition to that, actually, Yoren, looking at some numbers as well, because it's good to compare with the previous World Cup. However, it's also very important to compare with the Euro, because it's more recent.
Mm-hmm.
And what we've seen at the previous Euro was big numbers, big spikes from all the other ones. I mean, just to mention, looking at some numbers, when it comes to GGR, we're talking about 196 million in the Euro 2024, compared to 547 million in the World Cup. Of course, the Euro may be watched more by by European countries, because we all know then there's the Copa America, which is followed highly by Latam and South America, and the American stuff that they also have their own events. But when we look at these numbers, we realize that the World Cup doesn't just attract the players; it changes how players bet. So of course, then the main goal is to retain those players. Again, if we're going to be talking about, for example, the bet builder when it comes to penetration in different events, we can see that it was high during the World Cup because we're talking about 4 years ago, but it was extremely higher or more than the World Cup when it comes to the Euro.
And it's brilliant for operators, right? The margin in bet builders are way higher than even an underdog bets, where you place different markets within a single bet.
Correct.
I think what you mentioned about the World Cup, we're talking about the best players in the world. And even if it's playing versus an underdog team that nobody heard about these players, still when you see a big name playing, like I think it was Norway versus France. Are they in the same group? I don't recall, but they might surprise. With Holland, which is a great player, everybody wants to show their skills, and everything is possible. So watching such a big event and to have another sense of adrenaline when you place a bet. So that brings the action even more juicy. This become a full celebration of sports, entertainment, betting, socializing with friends, seeing games together.
That's what I was going to come into when it comes to the social impact of it. With the bet builder, I can only imagine the volume of bet builders in the final of the previous World Cup, with Argentina to win and Messi to score, for example. I'm sure it was dominating the market. And as you said, I mean, WhatsApp groups go mad. The social aspect of it, it all comes down together. That is why we said it's not just another sporting event, but when you get all those numbers and compile them into one big package, it delivers unreal figures.
I mean, Euro 24, we saw something around 700 million
Wow.
in 700 million in turnover just in the US. So that shows already the interest of the US in the tournaments, in the football tournaments, and also in Europe, something around 7 billion turnover in Euro 24. So that was already super massive, given that it's like a regional European tournament. Just imagine a world tournament like the World Cup 2026. Everybody knows that it's going to be massive in terms of action across the board. We will talk, of course, as well about the how should operator grasp the opportunity. What are the ways and what are the techniques that they should do? What is the behavior of the players? But what can we see? And we talked about it a bit before. It's about this special ingredient of underdog team. Even if they play against your favorite team, whether it's Brazil or Argentina or whatever, or who you think is going to win, when you cannot not fall in love with the underdog team.
Correct.
In a way, everybody loves underdogs. And you see them, sweating, running, tackling, trying to do the best to make the impossible possible. And by all means, we saw it happen. In 2022, it's a staggering number. 33% of the operator profits came from unexpected results. And this is what is so beautiful about sports. You can find one of the, let's call them tier 1 teams having a bad day.
Correct.
Or the morality break for some reason, and then you have these enthusiastic guys that just run, 10 players running, and anything is possible. And given that there are going to be 16 new underdog teams, this can bring, just if it will be equivalent to 2022 with unexpected result, that's going to be massive for revenues.
Correct. And to be fair, this is exactly what operators want, because the heavy bets will be coming on the favorite. I mean, case in point, Saudi Arabia versus Argentina. The volumes, the activity, and then there's the excitement of, when the score is draw, or it's one each. I remember during Saudi Arabia Argentina, all sportsbook were like, it's okay, Argentina will come back, but then whatever happened. Again, it would be a combination of underdogs, over and unders, which also affects all the dynamics. But what you just said, not just when it comes to betting, but also when it comes to watching the underdog story. Everyone loves an underdog story. Everyone loves an underdog story.
And I think you look at Tahiti, you look at Curacao, even teams that were there in the past but don't get through the cut, like New Zealand. The guys will like to come to bring pride to their nation, and also for the players themselves, it can be a life-changing event if they succeed in the World Cup. We saw it in 2022 that favorites teams only won 64% of the matches. So that tells you that is still there is this case where it's not guaranteed. It's not. So it's going to be super interesting. When we talk about how players, how the gamblers behave during the World Cup, we talked about the group age a little bit. So let's talk about the other group ages. We saw when it comes to Gen Z. So these are the guys that I'm already I am Gen X, right? I'm older than you. You are like the millennial in the millennial group age. So the Gen Zs, these guys that you look at them now, that they are like they have some identity issues. They have some notions about the workplace and what's not. They're quite unique, very opinionated generation. So. And what we learn from 2022, that this group age, they really like, of course, in play. But not just in play, they like the different markets for player props and micro betting. They have less, let's say, patient to see results of what they bet on. So we will talk about this type of tools for fast markets, fast betting, and how important it is to grasp this generation. So we know that in 2022, in this World Cup, around 66% of the Gen Zs participate in betting in that so that in that group age. Then millennials, your generation, about 60% of them, and they are more into a higher wager. It's also related to where they are in life, about their career, etc. So they have more capital to invest, and also like the bet builders a lot. Then the next group, the Gen X, my group, it's about 35%, 35 to 40% experience in betting on the World Cup 2022. And then the boomers over there is about 10 to 15%. That's more like recreational. Other thing that you see as a phenomenon in any tournament, but in the World Cup for sure, when your national team is playing, then you're like being caught between, I want my national team to win, but I want to have a bet that I will win. So what should I bet? So where my heart goes. If you are a Moroccan, you're better personality says, I'm not sure they will win. I want to win, but then it's
the
my
patriotic
heart.
side of it. The
Yeah,
patriotic side of it comes in
Yes.
when it comes to these events, and that's the fun of it. Yes, I mean the belief, and I think it was also there was a situation also when the Welsh team was doing very well, and there was a spike because, as you said, the patriotic side of it is always the one who wins after all. You want to bet on the favorite if you want to, let's say, bet strategically, even if it's for fun. But your heart tells you, listen, you need to support your own.
Which is also great for operators.
Exactly,
right?
it's perfect.
When people bet on what they fan of or the national team, they overlook about what are the real chances and that they are heavy underdog, but they place the bet where the heart is, which is also great for operators from revenues point of view, because it's like almost a sure win. But then again, we said there are also surprises. So if your national team won and it was an underdog and you placed a bet on them, so you're happy twice.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is like a great opportunity for such an entertainment.
We went from betting in a match of 90 minutes to per half to 5 minutes.
Out of the sudden, you start counting corners.
Literally every minute is a betting moment. So if you want to bet even on the next throw in, on the next corner, on whatever it is.
The fact that the operators get so many bets during the game. If someone made a bet on minute 16 and he won, super high chance that he will bet again on minute 18 or 20.